Hi everyone. So today we're gonna do rows and columns assignment 1. Okay. So turn to your textbook page 179 onwards. Okay. Or if you don't have your textbook with you, you can go to the slides and find these topics. All right. So let's get into it. Okay. I've already opened the Excel file required. Okay. And then I also reached to the page already lah. Okay. So first thing first, we need to select row 14. Okay, now this one we want to show you how to insert or remove or delete rows or columns lah. So in this case, I click on row 14. Okay, how do I select the whole thing? I just simply click at the number 14 there. Okay, and then I go to home, cells, insert, it's not delete, insert sheet rows. Okay, now if you notice, if you take note down here, okay, what will happen is suddenly 14 become blank. What actually happens is everything else gets pushed downwards. Okay, now sometimes we don't just want to insert one row, we want to insert several rows. Okay, so how do we do that? Select row 25, row 25. Now, as you're holding down Control key on your keyboard, holding down Control key, select 25, then select 34, then select 43. Notice that all three rows is highlighted, but in between it's not. Okay. Now, before I continue on, I want you to try to remember first. Why I'll show you afterwards. Okay, okay. Firstly, you need to remember 129 acres, 10 Harrison, and 38 Ileana. Okay, why? Because you see, if you notice, after this, I'm going to right click and then I'm going to insert. It's going to have the same effect as what I did earlier. Okay, but ta-da! Suddenly, what happens? 25. Okay, that's normal because earlier we saw that what will happen is everything gets pushed down, right? So 129 acres memang go down. But how come here suddenly become is not a blank? Actually, because everything is pushed down, so this blank is the original blank and is above the 10 Harrison. And same thing here, 38 Irania, okay, above her is a what you call that? A blank also. Okay, so after this we need to go to the home tab. Now we need to select column D first. Select column D. Okay, and then we go to now this time we want to delete. Okay, we don't want this column very extra. Okay, zone. Okay, so we delete and then we can select delete sheet columns, and then you notice the whole column disappears. Okay, then next we need to go to insert. All right, I mean select row 3, right click, insert. Same thing as earlier, one blank line will appear. You notice that the format they follow. Okay, in A3 we type zone 1 because everybody is zone 1, and then we highlight the whole thing and then we merge and center. After this we need to file save as, not messenger row column but rather messenger row column solution. All right, yes, I want to replace it. Okay, so then we move on. Just leave it open because we got to continue to use this. Now next we are going to talk about how to modify the row height and column width. Okay, so firstly we go to double click the boundary on the right of column G. So we select column, you know this is column G, right? Okay, then on the right of it is this side, correct or not? Okay, so you see there's this boundary, you see the cursor change its shape already. All right, so in between G and H you can select it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click. If you notice, it automatically adjusts. What it adjusts to is to the widest cell. Okay, so you can see it's adjust. Next we're going to select anywhere in column H, so it doesn't matter, can here, anywhere, doesn't matter. Then we go to home, cells, format. Okay, so we select a format and then we select column width. Okay, now you notice that there's this one. So here what we're going to do is we're going to type 16. Okay, and then we press OK. Now you notice this one also appear because earlier this one the width was 84.43, but we change it to 16. That way it can expand, it will be bigger. Okay, all right. So now last one is we go to, not last one, sorry, one of the last ones, we can go to click boundary hole. Okay, now it must be the bottom one, not the top one, must be bottom one. Okay, so 3. Okay, and then at the bottom there, take a look at the cursor, it changed the shape again. We select it. Now if you notice that there will be a height and pixel, all that, so we want the height to be 18. So we slowly adjust lah. It can be quite irritating, but never mind, bear with it. Okay, all right, so we adjust to 18, and then yeah, then you see it's just like that lah. Okay, so then next we need to select row 2, same thing. Go to format, auto fit row height. Okay, auto fit row height, if you notice now is adjusted. But since we don't really, but we are quite curious on what's the height itself, we can go there and then we can select row height. It will tell us 18.75. Okay, press cancel or okay, up to you, doesn't matter because we didn't change anything. Okay, now moving on to the next one. Format the entire cell, row or column. Okay, in this case we want to select from F to I. Okay, so how do we do that? We can firstly we can click and then we can drag, or we can click F and then as you're holding down shift, not control, shift this time. Okay, and then you click on I, ta-da, you can get everything selected. Okay, now we want all of this to be centered. Okay, so we go to alignment and then we click centered. If you notice, everything go to the center. Okay, and then when we select column I, now this time this one is all actually money so we need to to change it, but we don't want to change everything up there. But no worries, we just select column I, we go to here, we change to currency. If you notice, everything here change to in terms of money lah. Of course, some of you might have dollar signs and stuff, is okay, just leave it like as it is. Okay, next we're going to select row 4 and then we do the centered again and then we save. Okay, all right, moving on to hiding and unhiding. Okay, now we can select column D and E. Now previously what we did was we delete, but sometimes we don't want to delete, we just don't want to see it only. Okay, so what we can do is we can right click it and then we can select hide. Okay, if you notice, although they say green line, mine is a black line, but it shows that there is a hidden content there. Okay, so if I click somewhere else, it disappears. All right, doesn't matter because we can know. In our primary school, we sing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? But here it's C and suddenly F all. Means we know D and E is missing. Okay, so then next we can try to do column row 3. Okay, we can another way to do hiding is that we go to up here, we go to format and then we find hide or unhide, so we can choose hide rows. Okay, now you notice 1 2 3 4. Wait, where's 3? Actually 3 is hidden. Okay, now to unhide it, okay, what we can do is we select both sides, 2 and 4. Okay, right click and then we select unhide and then it reappears. Okay, so we save this. Now let's move on. Now this is the last section already. Transpose rows or column. What does transpose means? Is we're going to switch rows become columns, columns become row. Okay, so to show you how, we go to sheet 2 first. Okay, we're going to select row 2 to row 7. Sorry, row 2 to row 7. And then we go to select Control C. This is to copy it. Okay, you notice there will be a dotted line appearing. Okay, then then we select A10 first. A10, not the aeroplane, but the cell A10. Okay, then we select paste. Go to paste special. Okay, at the bottom, paste special. Then we make sure that this one is tick. Transpose is tick. Okay, press OK. All right, now if you notice, all right, what happens is that the original data is the rows are Bill, Guy, Jenny, Katya, Stuart, and then the columns is January, February, March, April, right? Now here instead the new one become rows is the months, whereas names become the columns. Okay, so after this we go to sheet 1, we press save and then you can submit this.